Hey guys, Carlos Colon here with Georgia Perimeter Homes, and today we're going to be talking about where are the cheapest houses in Georgia. So you're looking at possibly moving to Georgia, or maybe you've got friends or family, and you're like, I want to be in Georgia, but everything I see around Atlanta or in these other cities that my friends are at are crazy expensive. Where can I find the cheapest houses in Georgia? And I'm willing to drive. I'm assuming that you're willing to drive because I'm going to talk about it all over Georgia. So, all right, let's get started. So, before I get started, if you have not done so already, like, subscribe, and hit the bell, notification bell. That way, every time a new video comes out, you'll get notified. That way you can cover this information, and especially this one. This video will probably help a lot of you guys when it comes to, hey, I can't afford the house I want here, maybe I can afford it over here and make the commute. And that's what a lot of people are doing now. So let's get started. So the first thing to understand about Georgia is the main cities are going to be the most expensive, obviously. Biggest one being Atlanta. As we go in, around, or even the vicinity of the perimeter of Atlanta, that's where the most expensive homes will typically be. There are some other cities where they're also price points are jumping up like crazy, but typically, for the sake of this conversation, the bigger the city, the more expensive it becomes. So Atlanta is going to be at the heart and the center of Georgia. I say the heart and the center, but the literal center in Georgia is going to be closer to Macon. Atlanta is north of that, okay? So as we go into kind of describing the areas, I'll start with the northwest corner, okay? We're talking about areas like Lafayette, Somerville. When we talk about those kind of cities, when you go from there all the way till you start to hit, Cartersville, and as that starts to become closer to Atlanta, those areas before you get to the perimeter are pretty rural. There's some cities in there that they're a little bit pricier, but see, around all these rural areas, you can still commute south towards Atlanta and get pretty good prices. Now, what am I calling pretty good prices? You can still find homes in the 200,000s just fine, and they sell very, very quickly still, so you have to be on the ball with it. So those price points are moving up as well. With that said, obviously, we're talking about as people start heading, north towards the mountains in Georgia. As you start heading east, everything in the mountains is expensive at this point. So you're not going to get cheap if you're looking for a mountain area in Georgia. But as you go past that mountain area and continue heading towards what we're looking at, South Carolina territory, as soon as you head east of Athens, things get very cheap, okay? East of Athens, there's really almost nothing. And I say that, but there's several cities over there, but they're very rural, okay? And so the reason why things are cheap over there is because you really have to drive north, south, or west to get any kind of entertainment or get to a downtown area, a big downtown area anyway. So now there's limitations to that, because as we go into Commerce, Jefferson, Gainesville, when you go northeast of there, that's also pretty cheap. That's not bad at all. You get very good prices until you start to get to Lake Territory. In this case, the region of Georgia that we're talking about is northeast Georgia. There's a big lake that follows that section of Georgia, and as you get closer there, price points, of course, jump up as well. So anywhere from that lake all the way over to the areas what we're talking about, hey, you can get great prices on homes. Now, let's talk about the middle of Georgia, okay? As you start to head west from Atlanta and you follow I-20, which almost cuts Georgia in half, pretty much. We're looking at west of Georgia. I can guarantee you right now, you're not going to find a whole lot that's going to be cheap, so to say. As you head east of Georgia, though, when you pass Covington and you start to get to Madison, Georgia, between Madison, Georgia and Augusta. Augusta is right on the border of Georgia and South Carolina. So as soon as you get to Augusta, it's a big military town, those prices jump right back up. So in between Covington and Augusta, you get great prices on homes as well. Again, very rural. If you've ever driven I-20 from Covington or Atlanta all the way to Augusta, it's the most boring drive you'll ever make in your life. So, yes, you can get great deals on homes that way. Okay? Now, as we head farther south, everything farther south of this starts to get, as you follow I-75, starts to get more expensive as far as, closer to those Atlanta prices. Macon is not going to be price friendly. Warner Robins is not going to be price friendly at this point. And even Dublin is jumping up on price points at this point. So, but the northeast of Dublin, you start to get to places like Milledgeville and Lake St. Clair. They're not that bad. If you're looking for a nice big lake that's affordable, Lake St. Clair is a good way to go. Also, as you head to LaGrange, West Point Lake is a really good lake where you can afford homes as well. Those two are awesome. Milledgeville prices are pretty good. They're not bad at all. And as you head east of Milledgeville, those prices are affordable as well. That's kind of following that same path as you're headed to Augusta, but there's no highways that tie you there, so it's very, very rural. Now, as you start heading south, if you're following 75, we've got really about 4 different areas we'll talk about right now. One is Warner Robins, which is still kind of what I call the Macon area. Those prices are not that price friendly compared to the other rural areas we're talking about. They've jumped up significantly. Columbus, those price points are jumping up as well. So in between Columbus, though, and Warner Robins, we get the same situation. Yes, those homes are affordable. They're getting more and more expensive, though, as we go through, because the commute to Atlanta is not that bad. As you head south of there, when we start talking about Perry, Georgia, all the way down to like Albany, and as you keep heading south towards Tifton, those areas in Georgia, very rural, very affordable. You won't have any issues buying homes in those areas, and obviously because you have to have a long commute in order to get anywhere from there, whether you're heading to Florida or Atlanta. But if you've got family in both states, that might be a good situation for you. Okay? The last place we'll talk about is as you go the Golden Isles, or what we'll call Savannah, in between Savannah and Dublin. That area of Georgia is also very rural. Okay, obviously Savannah is not a small town. Those price points when we get to the coast there, very expensive. But in between Savannah and Dublin, man, those prices are great. And along with that same note, if you're following that specific highway, if you head south of that highway, that's also very affordable. So you get to these nooks and crannies, so to say, where, yeah, you can find great prices, great homes. And this all boils down to kind of your position. If you're a work from home, you can live pretty much anywhere. But if you're looking for commute times to Atlanta, this is where, if you're looking at in the $200,000 and $300,000 price point, man, it's starting to get very, very difficult. So take this into consideration. And like I always say, when something is changing and getting more expensive than what you can afford, start to immediately in your head go, how long am I willing to drive one way for that commute? And base your decision on location off of that number. All right? If you have any questions about this or any other information about real estate, please give us a call. Our number is 770-314-1285, or check out our website for some great listings as well if you want a home valuation on your home. That is www.georgiaperimeterhomes.com. Thanks. Bye.